Hi all, today we are going to discuss about multi-stage centrifugal pumps. Now, a multi-stage centrifugal pump is a pump in which there is more than one impeller. Okay, now it is used for two purposes. One is for high head. So when you require a high head, the pumps are in series, and the other one is for more discharge. At that time, the pumps are in parallel. I had told you earlier that pump, the design of pump is based on your HP. You have half HP, quarter HP, one full HP, 2 HP, etc., etc. Why we go for series and parallel is, remember, these are all our machines. Machines need to be maintained regularly and it can fail. So what happens whenever this failing aspect is there, if you have one pump, the failure, if it fails, the entire work is coming to a standstill. So when you have anything in series or parallel, if one fails, you have the other one to manage it. Okay, so that's why the series and parallel condition is always preferred rather than having one single pump which can, do the entire thing. Now remember, for high head, when I say I use for high head, when my, number of stories are around 20, 30, a higher head is required to reach till the highest floor. Okay, so that time I'll be using pumps in series for increasing the pressure of water so that it can go all the way to the top. And the second one is pumps in parallel when I want more discharge. Okay, for example, you have a milk unit. Remember, milk also is a fluid. Okay, it has to be transferred. Milk, this unit, this, uh, milk unit where the milk is distributed and packed and everything, the milk goes through a lot of pump, and that time you require more discharge. That's why you have pumps in parallel. Okay, now this is your pumps in series. So I told you this is one impeller, another impeller, and it is going up. Remember, after the first impeller, the water is having higher pressure. After it goes to the second impeller, it has got even higher pressure, so it can be lifted, to a greater height. And the next one is for more discharge. It is connected in parallel. So this is discharging Q, this is discharging Q2. So combining together, I'm increasing the discharge which is coming through the pipe, to the delivery pipe. So these are the two types. And again, diagrams are important to draw whenever multi-stage pumps are asked. Now the second thing what we're going to do today is a specific speed of centrifugal pump. We didn't have derivation in turbine, but here we have a derivation, a small derivation, where the derivation is based on proportionality. Okay, now what is specific speed of a centrifugal pump? I had given a detailed meaning of what is a specific speed. In simple, it is a speed of a geometrical similar pump which would deliver 1 meter cube second of liquid against 1 meter head. Okay, so 1 meter cube is a delivery against a head of 1 meter. Now in turbines, we had calculated your specific speed. Depending on the value of the specific speed, we can say which, turbine can be preferred. So here it's only one single unit. We need to calculate the specific speed to design, to know in your design purpose, if you see, I have a purpose, like I have to lift till 10 floors. So based on the requirement, I design my pump. You have your normal, half HP, 1 HP, etc. But depending on the variation, I should know what should be the speed which is being coming to your, which can be delivered by the pump. Now here I'll assume certain things. Let Q be the discharge, capital Q be the discharge, D be the diameter of impeller, B width of the impeller, VF velocity of flow of jet, U velocity of impeller, N is the speed of impeller, and HM is your manometric head. Now, if you've seen all these things, I have not mentioned section 1 and 2. I have not mentioned D1, B1, VF1. I've just taken the general formulas. Now, I'll be taking whatever formulas we have been using for the design of your centrifugal pump. Okay, so one formula we have with respect to your discharge. The other formula we have with respect to your calculation of VF and U, which is equal to root 2 GH. Your VF is equal to flow ratio into root 2 GH. Your U is equal to speed ratio into root 2 GH. And here H is your HM. The same equation is valid in centrifugal pump also for VF and U. Discharge, etc. So we'll be using this equation in terms of proportionality and then seeing what is the specific speed value. Now here, the first equation I'm going to use is Q is equal to pi BD VF. Okay, section 1, section 2, both are same. So I'm using 1. So I can say that So I can say that Q is proportional to BD VF. And again, your width and diameter are proportional. As my diameter increases, your width also increases. There's a connection between two. So I can write width is proportional to your diameter. Now taking this into consideration, I can rewrite this equation as Q is proportional to D square VF. Okay, so this is my first equation I'll be considering. And the second equation I know is U is equal to pi dn by 60. Again, I'm not taking section 1, section 2. I'm just writing a general equation of U. U is equal to pi dn by 60. So U, I can write it is proportional to D into N. Let this be the second equation. Now again, the standard formula for your, Francis turbine, Kaplan turbine, as well as your centrifugal pump. Your U is speed ratio into root 2G HM. HM here is a manometric head. So taking that into consideration, I can write U is proportional to root of HM. Similarly, VF is equal to flow ratio into root 2G HM. I can write VF is proportional to root of HM. Now I'll take equation 2 and equation 3. Okay. Now equating 2 and equating 3, I'm just taking U outside. I can write DN is proportional to root of HM. Okay. So I've written the reverse over here. Root HM is proportional to DN. And then I'm writing in terms of D, I can write D is proportional to root HM divided by N. Okay. So this is the fifth condition relationship I'm having. Now what I'll do, now I've got D here, I've got VF here. So I'll substitute 4 and 5 in equation 1. Okay. So I've taken my equation 1 is Q is proportional to D square. So I'll take D, I'll substitute this value root HM by N, the whole square, into VF is, it is proportional to root of HM. So when I simplify it, I'll be getting Q is proportional to H to the power 3 by 2 divided by N square. Now, if I remove the proportionality, I should have a constant. So I'm taking Q is equal to K H to the power HM to the power 3 by 2 divided by N square. Let this be equation 6. So here K is a constant of proportionality. I know that I define my specific speed considering 1 meter head. For 1 meter head, the discharge is 1 meter cube per second. So I'll substitute this to get the value of K. So in the equation here, Q is equal to K Hm to the power 3 by 2 by N square. I'm substituting 1 here and 1 here. So I'm substituting 1, 1, 1. So I'll be getting K, 1 is equal to K by Ns square. Here N becomes Ns, okay? Ns is your specific speed. I can get K is equal to Ns square. Now I substitute this in my equation 6. So if I substitute that, I'll be getting Q is equal to Ns square into Hm 3 by 2 divided by N square. So in this equation, I have found out the proportionality. I got K is equal to Ns square. And then I'm substituting and then simplifying. I'm trying to find the specific speed. I'll write in terms of specific speed. I'll be getting N into root of Q divided by Hm to the power 3 by 4. It was 3 by 2. When I take root here, it will become 3 by 4. So this is my specific speed of a centrifugal pump. Okay. Now next, I had mentioned about priming a number of times. So priming is basically you are, introducing water to your pump before you start the motor. Okay. Now where and all we are filling the water, it is the suction pipe, definitely, casing of the pump, the entire casing of the pump, and a portion of the delivery pipe up to the delivery valve. Okay. And then once it's filled, then you are switching on the motor. And again, the water. So if you're using the pump for water, you have to introduce water. If you're using it for milk, you should introduce milk. So whatever fluid is inside your pump, which has to be lifted up, the same fluid should be used for your priming. Remember, in a new pump, priming is not required every day, but frequently. But as my pump gets older, it becomes mandatory that I prime it daily for better efficiencies. Otherwise, if you don't prime it, it will just have, air will be rotating and sometimes because of air rotation, you can't lift up your liquid from below. The next, what I'm going to discuss is about cavitation. Now, if you want to know about cavitation, now cavitation is, as the water flows through the, rotation motion through your pump, it erodes the particles, the metallical surfaces, and that erosion is called as pitting. Okay, why it is happening is, now remember that if you remember your earlier physics, at lower, so you know that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, but if I have a reduced pressure, the boiling starts early. So what happens if I reduce my pressure, the temperature in which your liquid starts to boil also reduces. So when the boiling point is reduced, vapor starts forming easily. Okay, so your old physics, if I have your best example is your pressure cooker. Your pressure cooker, the boiling takes place, faster. Why? Because it is closed, pressure is generated due to the heat. It is able to become vapors easily. So the same phenomena here, when your water is rotating, is passing through your pump, because of your pressure getting reduced, the boiling point of, I'll take the example of water. So the pressure getting reduced, the pressure, what happened? The boiling point of water also decreases. So it starts forming vapors very fast. And when these vapors come into a region of high pressure, it will all collapse, causing erosion of your metallic surfaces. Okay, such an action is called as cavitation. Cavitation can't be avoided, but it can be, reduced. Okay, it causes the pitting of the technical term is pitting of your metallic surfaces. So when my vapor pressure reduces, vapors are formed, and when these vapors come into a region of high pressure, they collapse, causing your metallic surface to erode. Okay, this is called as cavitation. Okay, this is not there in your syllabus, I guess, but it's an important, not drawback, it's an important problem in your pumps. Okay, so with that, I come to the end of the class. Thank you.